What's up, beautiful jellyfish? It's Tracy. I'm actually like not feeling too well right now. I don't know if you can tell in my voice. You may not actually be able to tell on camera, but I'm feeling a little sick right now. I don't really know. I don't really ever get sick. Knock on wood. But you know what happens, and like I feel like too, because like I work in a school that it's like germs and stuff, and I'm like really good about hand sanitizer and washing my hands thoroughly and like whatnot, but it's like you can just, some things you just like can't avoid. So I feel like I was gonna say some more things. Okay, so it's Halloween when I'm filming this. Happy Halloween if you celebrate. Halloween's like super awesome. I have this like bag of like Reese's Pumpkins, which are like my favorite. And I'm also wearing this super sweet Harry Potter shirt, and it's got a cape, and it's really cool. And every time I see capes, I always think of Nuckhips from The Incredibles. That movie's great. So, it's Halloween, I'm filming. I was kind of like really in the mood to film this video. I was kind of just like in the mood to like talk, even though I'm like not feeling well, and I kind of just want to like crawl up in my bed and like watch like Glee. I'm watching Glee right now. I'm also playing this video game, Stardew Valley. If I can figure out how to screen capture, like how to videotape my screen, I will do that and I will show you guys. And also I want to do like draft sims, and I want to like do drafts and like film those. I just don't know how to do that, so if you know how to do that, let me know. I was also going to say something else. So I started today in my other placement. So I'm student teaching right now. I teach English and I love it, and my kids are great. And I just left that placement this weekend and I started my new placement today, and I have 7th graders, and my kids they're like really adorable actually. Like they're super, super cute, and they're like really sweet. It was funny, one of the girls like comes up to me and she like had bags of candy for everyone, and she was like, "Oh, I didn't know you were gonna be here." And I was like, "It's all good, man, like I don't need any more candy. I just bought myself that entire bag of candy, like, you know, like a savage." And then my kids at my other placement wrote me thank you letters. Oh, I put them away, and a lot of them were like, "Yo, you're a savage," and it was like really great. So that's super great. Nothing relates to the point of this video though. Okay, so I was thinking about it because someone commented on my video and was like, "Hey, I would be interested in trading for these cards." And then I was like, oh man, I should talk about PucaTrade, because I used PucaTrade like last year, and like for some reason I just like stopped talking about it. Like I didn't even talk about it, and I feel like I was like, wow, why didn't I do that video? That totally would have made sense. So I haven't used PucaTrade in like a year, but this is my experience when I did use it. And like I want to give like some tips and like things that I like noticed in there, and like things that I would definitely do. So I used PucaTrade because I really needed to finish my deck, and I had like cards that I just wasn't gonna do anything with, and I was like, you know what, like let me just, you know, like use this so I can get those remaining cards. This was back when I was playing Elves in Modern. So I threw a bunch of cards on there that like I had, that I like knew I wasn't going to get rid of, but I knew that other people may find value in them. And that's like the thing too, is I feel like it's kind of frustrating sometimes when like you have like a card that you want to get rid of, but you're like, I can't find anyone who needs this card. Especially I feel like with like standard cards, I feel like this is really relevant, because like cards like Path to Exile, you're always going to find people who need that card, but like some like standard card, not everyone may need that card. So right now I'm sitting on a $40 Grimflayer promo, which apparently like I said is $40, I didn't know that. And I looked it up and I was like, wow, it's crazy. So I need to get rid of that. I need to like get that out of my thing. So I was like, alright, like let me get rid of some stuff and like throw some stuff on PucaTrade, and then finish up the rest of blue-white, get some sideboard cards for that, and like go from there. Because I just have like some cards in my trade binder that I know I'm just like no one is probably ever gonna like, you know, use these. So I'm probably gonna get back into it. And so like my experience so far has been good. Oh, I should like explain what it is basically if you don't know. So you kind of have like 2 lists, and the first list, what you do is you put on there cards that you want. You can put like additions to, so say you're really looking for like a foil whatever, you can do that. You're looking for a foil 10th edition whatever card, you can do that, which is cool. So that's awesome. And then people are like, oh, you need that card, and they ship it to you. You can put like shipping requirements and stuff on there, so like I live in the US, I'm not going to ship my stuff to Australia. Sorry, I'm just not going to ship my things over to Australia. I'm just not going to do it. Because I feel like that shipping just like takes too long. I don't really want anything imported from Australia too. I just think that's just way too much. I try to like avoid that because I feel like it just takes a while, and I feel like it's just sometimes like the shipping rates can just be like a little like crazy. So there's that. So I just like strictly stick it to the US. So then you have another list, and the list is of cards that you have in your inventory. So like you can put, I have a Lorwyn Thoughtseize that I'm looking to get rid of. And then each of those things have point values. So like you rack up enough points, and when you get enough points, you can request items sent to you pretty much. Yeah, so like the website's like really cool. Like I said, I think it's a really cool website where if you have cards that you want to get rid of that are of high value but no one wants them, it's a really cool way to rack up points and stuff like that. A couple of things that I would say to like definitely do, and like my like one thing that I had, and I really wish I knew this, when you sign up, they give you like what is it? Like they have you read like this like handbook thing, and normally like people skip by those, but I wanted to read like the requirements of like sending stuff to people and like what it is. I've heard of things where people are not sending near mint cards, and oh man, I don't have any magic cards like in my general reach, so I can't show you, but like a near mint card or like a damaged card. So if you have like this card and it's like half of it's like ripping off and you know whatever, and the edges are all frayed, don't send that card out. Should be self-explanatory, but apparently it's not. So some people do that, and that's just to me like that's a jerk thing. Don't do that. Just think, don't do that. If you don't have a card that's in like good condition, just don't send it out. Like to me it's just like a very like simple thing, you know? It's like just don't do it. Because people will get mad and people will complain. Because I've gotten cards in the past, and to me it hasn't been a super big deal, but how I look at it is if someone were to send you a card and you were to send it and it was like falling off and the edges were all frayed, whatever, and you wanted to go and say for whatever reason you kept it, and you were like, you know, one day I'd like to trade this back in for value because I don't know if I'll use this card forever. That to me is like a frustrating thing where it's like, you know, you want your cards to be in like good condition. So send out cards that are of good condition. How to take care of them? Perfect Fits. Perfect Fits are like the best thing ever. I get the, and I can't think of what it is, but it may be a Japanese brand actually. But I'll link them down below, the ones that I get. They like basically never split. And they're just really, really good. So if you have intentions of using, like, when you open up a card and you're like, wow, of value, put it in a Perfect Fit. Like, do it. Like, I think that's, like, one thing. I just, like, I need to get more packs of Perfect Fits. And then when I open up cards that are of value and I know I'm never going to use them, just put them in a Perfect Fit so that, you know, nothing can happen. Because in the future, if you get rid of that card, you want to make sure it's in good condition. What I would say for shipping cards out is if you have like 1,000,001 Perfect Fits laying around, throw it in one of those. If you don't, I would say one of these regular sleeves. You can even get like penny sleeves, to be honest. If you don't want to spend a lot of money on these, get like a regular sleeve. And this is like a muy importante thing. Where I teach, a lot of my kids speak Spanish, so I've heard like Spanish like throughout the day mixed with English, so it's like a lot of my kids are just like and I'm like, wow, I haven't even like thought of speaking Spanish in like the longest time. So I'm in like a little bit of Spanish, and I'm like, wow, I want to use like some Spanish phrases. So these, I don't even know, like, hold on, can you even see this? This is like, it's clear, but it's one of these like clear like card things that I feel like you used to collect baseball cards in when you were like 5. Get these or hang on to them when you get sent cards, because I have like 50 of these things from when my brothers collected baseball cards when they were younger, and from when companies send cards to me. Because when you have like an envelope and like let me just use this like random receipt. So when you have like your envelope, you can like, this is like some random like Acme receipt. Then take like your card and then like put it in like the sleeve, and then put it in like the opposite way in this thing, and then like ship it with your thing. And then, write do not bend on there, like write please do not bend. This way, if you have like a firmer surface in your envelope, it'll make it so, you know, your cards are less likely to like bend, because this is like a firm sort of thing that it's difficult to like bend this thing. So make sure you do that, because I haven't had any issues with the website except for like when I started, like I said, I read that the manual thing where it was like things to do, things not to do, whatever it's called. and the rules, and I didn't send one of these, and the guy got really mad. Like, I sent him like a Thoughtseize, and like it was in good condition, and like I know that it was in good condition when I sent it, and he like sent me a nasty thing and was like, you didn't put like one of these protective card things in there. So like, make sure you do that, because I don't want any of you getting like nasty remarks like, you didn't do this, you didn't read the rules. I know the rules. There's this like wrestler who really like Dana Brooke, and like she had this one thing where like the referee was like giving her a hard time. She's like, I know the rules, and she like talks like that too, and like does that like head motion. Oh, she's great. So yeah, make sure you do that. Make sure you know the rules, so no one gives you like a hard time for anything like that. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think like the website overall is like really sweet. I feel like there's probably a lot of other like things, but I think that PucaTrade is like pretty well run. I feel like in the past, and I can't even honestly remember because it's been like a year ago since I used it, but I think in the past I've sent like emails to them, or I've sent emails to other people, and for the most part, like, I mean, I only did like a couple of transactions, but like people were like adamant about that. And I'd also say, if you are planning on you know, using it, make sure you're constantly checking your email, and make sure you're constantly checking your email, your like personal one as well as the one there. I think that you can have them linked, so like if you get an email from PucaTrade, it'll go to your email. Make sure you're constantly checking that, because people can send you things and sometimes it's like time sensitive. So like, say you're about to drop something off and they're like, hey wait, can you cancel my order, or hey, can you add an additional card, or like something like that. Something I think is really cool too is that you can send multiple cards. So like, say for some person wants like 3 of a card sent to them, you have 3 of the card, you can send all 3 in the same order and you would get those points. You only get points until the item has gotten to them, which I think is important. So like, you can't go off and like get a ton of stuff like before they've actually received their cards. I will say, I mean, I've been ordering Magic cards for like a couple years online. I use TCG like direct for the most part. I've ordered from Star City before, like I've ordered from a bunch of things, and I have used PucaTrade too, so I've used a bunch of things. And if there's an issue where like you don't get your cards, like it's been like weeks or like whatever, just make sure you like email them, make sure like you get things sorted out. I genuinely hope that there aren't people, like a lot of people, who are trying to scam you, but there can be. I remember this one time I ordered, this was the only issue I've ever had with cards being ordered before, is I was ordering, and it may have been through TCG, one of the sellers, so it was like a smaller company, and they shipped something out. I couldn't even tell you what I ordered. It wasn't like that important, like I don't think. And they were like, yeah, like I sent the card out, and I never got it a couple weeks later. So I emailed them and I was like, hey, listen, like I never got that card that you sent. And they were like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I'll send you another one. And I never got it. And like, I'm being genuine, like I legitimately didn't receive the cards. Like I said, I can't even remember like what it was. I don't even think it was like that expensive too. It was probably like $5. And I emailed them and like things got resolved, and I was like, listen, I'm just gonna like cancel my order. So like, I don't know if it was a thing on their part. Legitimately, both orders could have been like misplaced in the mail. I honestly don't know. Maybe that did happen. Maybe they were trying to scam me. I don't know. I really don't know. But I would just like be careful of that, and just like seriously, if you don't receive your order, like make sure you say something, because yeah, I feel like I'm a lot of times I'm too like I'll order stuff and like it hasn't like shipped out like weeks later, and then I was like, I'm supposed to get my thing, so like be assertive and like, hey man, I didn't get what I ordered, you know. Yeah. As far as that goes, I don't know, is there anything else I can tell you? I don't know if there's anything else. I feel like that's kind of it. Yeah, I'm just gonna go, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life right now, actually. Probably play some of that video game, Stardew Valley, which is on Steam, and it's super cool. Like, it's a game, and like there's this one guy, and he like made like the whole thing. It's like you own your own farm, and so like you have to manage like your farm, and you can get like farm animals, and you have like a garden, and there's like mines, there's like caves, and you can like mine, and you can find like gems and like minerals, and you can like romance like people, and you can also romance like people of like the same sex, so that's super awesome. And yeah, it's just like, it's like a super fun game, and it's like very like de-stressing, which is like really nice. So I'm probably gonna go play that and relax, and watch wrestling. I'll probably watch wrestling later on. If you guys keep up with wrestling, if you don't, you can just, you know, whatever. But so last night there was like Hell in a Cell, and it's like, to me it's like a super fun event because it's something that like I always love, like those specialty type events, because it's like it doesn't happen very often, and so when it does, it's like really exciting. And this was the first time that you had women have their own cell match, which to me was incredible. I actually didn't see the match because I'm a grandma and I go to bed at like 9:30, 10 o'clock because I have to get up at 6 a.m. So, or like 6:30 in the morning, so I missed their match, but I'm actually gonna watch that today before I watch on Raw, because like Sasha Banks is like one of my favorites, and Charlotte is just incredibly talented. I just love them both, and like their rivalry is like super good. I'm a little bit upset that Charlotte keeps winning, like, because they feel like they have to keep this title of Charlotte never loses at pay-per-views, but then the next night on Raw or the week later on Raw she loses, and like to me it's like, when I think about a championship like being won or lost, I think of it happening at a pay-per-view, because people may not necessarily watch every single Raw or whatever, but people are probably gonna watch those pay-per-views, so that was a little bit frustrating. And then, was there a takeover on Saturday? I actually have to look into that, because if there's a takeover, I need to see it. I haven't been keeping up with NXT at all. I've actually been like really bad about keeping up with NXT, because it's like Monday I watch it, Monday and Tuesday I watch it, and then like Wednesday I'm just like, you know, so I've been missed so many weeks of NXT. But I like a lot of the people on NXT. I mean, I like the rosters right now. I think they're like strong. I think the women's division is like a little bit weak, just because I think that like there's some women I feel like on there that they haven't like featured really. Like I think they're featuring like the same, because like they only have 6 and 6 right now, which is, to me, is just like isn't enough. So I don't know what's gonna happen, but I feel like the women's division is like super frail because there's not a lot of women, and like every week it's like, what are Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss up to? And it's like, I love them both, but like I want to see more of a variety, and that's why like it's kind of frustrating. Like this pay-per-view was like all of the rivalries and no one really knew, which was a little bit frustrating. But I think that Kevin Owens is doing like a great job of having the belt, because, you know, with what WWE's plan was that Finn was gonna have the belt, and he's still injured, and it makes me so sad. One of my students wore Finn's shirt for me, because I guess I told him that Finn was my favorite, and he wore my last day, he wore Finn's shirt, and I was like, this is great. He's like my only wrestling fan, and it's like all of my 155 students, he's like the only wrestling fan. He's a great kid. Yeah, I think Kevin Owens is doing like a really great job. Like I think it looks super good that he's got the belt right now, and I think that's really awesome. But I definitely need to watch because regardless if I watch the rest of it, I think I stopped in the middle of the Owens and Rollins fight, and I love them both, but it's kind of like I've seen them fight like a lot, so I'm like, But I like Sasha and Charlotte. Like I will always like, if there is a match, like a guy's match and like a women's match, like I'm more likely to like watch the women's match if it's like two good women. Like Bailey's match with who is it? Dana Brooke was actually really good. I was really surprised. The Rusev Roman Reigns match was actually really good. And like, I am not a Roman Reigns person at all. I don't like Roman Reigns like at all. I don't like him. But Rusev is awesome. And I'm so mad that Rusev doesn't have the belt anymore. I'm really mad. But like, oh man, like that match was actually really sweet. That was like a really good match. So I have to watch the rest of that. I'm gonna like skip some matches. Like there's Brian Kendrick versus TJ Perkins. I'm not gonna watch that. I've seen them fight. Like I don't need to see them anymore. Like they fight every time for like the cruiserweight belt, and I'm like, I don't need to see this anymore. But I'm really excited for when Finn comes back. I'm so sad that he's injured. I hope he's doing okay. He's like my baby, and I'm so bummed out that like so many people like finally make it. Like Sami Zayn like made it, and like on his first night on Raw like got injured in his match with John Cena. Like really? And like Finn's like whatever night it was, like a month or two into Raw, like gets injured. Like really? Just wins the belt and has to like give it up because of a shoulder injury, and I'm just like, my baby. So I'm hoping that he like gets better soon, because I know he's gonna come in and I know they're gonna have him win. Like I know they're gonna have him win. He's gonna probably have the belt for a while. I think like for now, I think that Owens and Rollins will probably like rotate, but they've had Owens have it for actually a while, because it would make sense to me if Finn comes back and beats Owens, because their whole thing in NXT. But I don't know, it also kind of makes sense if he comes and beats Rollins for it, because they started a rivalry, so who knows? I have no idea what they're doing. Okay, that was a really long wrestling rant, but let me know if you guys like wrestling. If you've made it this far. If you didn't, I'm cool with it, that's fine. Okay. I'll show you guys later. Bye.